Alright, gentle people, let's go ahead and give you some background about this lab. In this lab, you're going to synthesize alum. Now, alum is what we consider a double salt crystal. So the idea here is, if you look at something like NaCl, this is made out of a cation, which is positive, and one anion, which is negative. In alum, what we have are two positive things. We have potassium, which is going to be a +1 ion, and we're going to have aluminum, which is a 3+. So we have two places where the positive charge is coming. The sulfate right here is SO4 2-. So that's where our negative charge is coming from. Now inside this crystal are going to be water molecules that are trapped. So what you guys initially synthesize is something called a hydrate. A hydrate has these water molecules trapped in the crystals. We denote this by putting a dot there. So these 12 water molecules are sticking to this alum molecule. Now the reaction that you guys are going to run is you guys are going to take aluminum plus some potassium hydroxide inside water and are going to add sulfuric acid. You guys are going to generate the alum plus some hydrogen gas. So when you guys do calculations, your theoretical yield, your actual yield, and your percent yield, keep this equation in mind and you will be able to do your calculations. Just to give you some background on aluminum. Aluminum's a really neat metal. What happens is if you have pure aluminum, the oxygen in our air starts to attack the aluminum. And this is going to slowly oxidize the aluminum. In fact, aluminum is a very reactive metal. There is no such thing as aluminum metal that you find naturally. You find it combined with other elements because it's so reactive. But you might ask yourself, you have things like aluminum cans, some of your electronics are made out of aluminum, and there are other aluminum objects you find in everyday life. How can something so reactive still be here and be something that you can use? Well, once aluminum gets reacted with the oxygen in the atmosphere, it can develop this coating, this aluminum oxide coating. This coating is very sticky and it's transparent, and it makes this film on top of the aluminum such that no more aluminum will react. So it's this protective layer. Just to give you a fun little story, if we were to go back in time in a time machine and visit Napoleon and he invited us for dinner, we would see something peculiar. For his normal guests, he used to serve people with gold spoons, forks, knives, and plates. And for his super special guests, his most honored guests, he would go ahead and serve them with aluminum spoons, knives, forks, and plates. That's because at his time, aluminum was more expensive than gold. Because it wasn't naturally occurring and you had to process aluminum, it was a very costly process. You can see from this table that aluminum used to cost $100,000 per pound. Nowadays, aluminum costs about 15 to 60 cents per pound. That's because we've developed ideas and techniques to go ahead and purify aluminum from its ores. The most cost-effective way actually to produce aluminum is recycling. It's about 90% cheaper to recycle aluminum than to actually extract it from your ores. So it's a good idea that you guys practice recycling of your aluminum products like cans and other objects. Well, I hope you found that interesting and have a good rest of your day.